Hello, welcome to Heart Explained Therapy, and I want to talk about the pandemic that is how bad social media is, especially for young people. Now, the reason why I think there's a definite link that it's worse for young people is because young people are growing up with this more part of their life than the older generation. So, if you're 30, 40, 50, you're still getting hooked and addicted on social media. 100%, you can't put your phone down. I get that. But where this is bad for the children is this becomes actually part of your background. It's promoting your identity through whatever you tend to go on. And remember, there's lots of agendas. And one of the most important agendas of a mobile phone is to make money as you are a customer. And so they will be just feeding you with advertisements that they believe you're interested in and believe that you should be interested in. And if you see that this increase in social media and phone usage, along with a few other things that you can say has come with the last generation of children, the last possibly 15, 20 years, I would say, where it's really, I would say that artificial intelligence has been sort of implanted and we've all just got to get used to it. But I'd say certainly the last 10 years where this, I certainly didn't have a phone till I was 14, 15. Can't remember if I was even that young. Now it's 5-year-olds are on phones, or two. I saw mums now put phones on for babies just to keep them sort of engaged. And of course you can say there's positives, and we can talk about the positives, and we can get them out of the way first if it makes you feel better. But there's lots of negatives. Now again, there's no point talking about all the positives because positives are great. You're going to feel good, you're going to learn new skills, you're going to learn more education, you could learn some really good advice from social media platforms. You're connected with all your friends, you believe you're connected in a better way, so there's going to be positives for your well-being. But there is direct 100% linkage with social media use in young children and the suicide rates of young children going up. Now, they believe that this is because of social platforms where they promote an ideology, and we are seeing that there's sites out there that people can convince you to commit suicide if you're feeling depressed, not helping you, not trying to guide you, but actually where you form a pact with other people in the same sort of mental attitude, and you can go out there and commit suicide almost together. Self-harming is a latest popular culture that we're seeing in a lot of places all over the world as well. I think it looks like it's peaking in America, but I think they just end up doing more sort of recording. I think their psychology recording statistics just works better, so they always seem like they're the worst of everywhere, but they just do so much information gathering, and it makes, I think the UK will just be as bad as that. And we don't want young people to feel shit and get mental health, and mental health is through the roof now. It's everywhere you see. You've got your Aunt Margaret and your 5-year-old niece. One is on antidepressants, ADHD tablets, and the other one is getting diagnosed at the age of 80 with antidepressants. It's just like, and this seems to be the cure, when lots of people who I've spoke to who have been on antidepressant for a long time have said this doesn't work. They still have loads of depressed feelings. They just say that if anything, they just kind of get used to their feeling. So what are we saying about this pandemic? And if you come across this and this freaks you out because you've got a teenager, daughter or son that will not ever put their phone down, what we're saying to you is, first of all, you as the parent wants to look after your child, so you're going to have to set some boundaries. For me personally, I think that from whatever age, you want to limit the amount of time, and you want to be looking at their behaviour connected to mobile phone and computer playing time. I know that I can see a direct, miserable, altering negative mood attitude after playing the computer. I know that's a correlation of what I observe. So that's where you have to say, right, that 2 hours has altered your mood. You have to play that now for only half an hour. And you have to set these boundaries where the computer game becomes a reward to play with other educational things to do. And I think we're losing this interaction. When's the last time you played a board game, Monopoly? You'll all take part in computer games now, all playing with your head down, completely disengaged from each other, like this is the normal. And it is the norm in every living room around the world, and grown adults, I know, lads, for me, nobody over the age of 18 should be playing a computer. There's nothing there that it's formulating for your mind. It's a very childlike device for childlike minds. You don't need to play a computer now. But I know 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds who are playing the computer, and I know 25-year-olds who have got kids who will play the computer game for 2 hours and leave the kids to the mums in the other room, and that's just not right. And if you're putting up with this, you're setting the boundary of this being normal. Now I'm concentrating on why kids are killing themselves, and they do not have any morals or values on how to live life. They just think that everything they see on social media is the way that they need to be, the way they need to dress. They have to aspire to the Only Way is Essex, made in Chelsea sort of look, and if they don't look anything like that, they've got to have surgery by the time they're 16, and perhaps their sexuality isn't cool enough in their high school, so what they would have to do is have a sex change, or maybe not go that far and just change their name and tell their parents, because it'll get them lots of attention and stuff. And we're seeing all these just really bad altering reality programs coming through social media, and it's becoming normal. Now, this isn't an attack on gender or anything like this. It's just saying that there's certain things out there that are taking place where 12-year-olds are wanting sex changes and are having sex changes, when in another part of legislation we say a 12-year-old cannot have the capacity to make up their mind. Otherwise, all 12-year-olds would be living on their own, wouldn't they? They'd all, if we gave them capacity. However, this specific sort of feature, and this comes from the media streaming, that if you deny anybody a genuine attempt of any sort of behaviour that hits the humanity rights, then you are Adolf Hitler gassing the Jews again. And it's just, we're just turning into this really dark, ugly, unconscious race of humans that were so far sort of looking at the spiral, hypnotised. We're not coming out long enough to breathe and say, hold on a sec, I actually enjoyed interacting. I actually enjoyed certain social events, like parties. You know, parties back in the day, and I'm talking back probably 1990s now, parties used to be sort of a a melody of genre music, a nice little buffet, and meeting all your aunts and uncles in a nice friendly pub. And now the party has turned into go to a nightclub, get absolutely slaughtered, and become totally unconscious, and be fortunate that the taxi driver doesn't take advantage of your unconscious corpse in the body, on the way home, because you're so inebriated. And it's just like, again, we're addicted to that alcohol, we're addicted to the distraction. That's all that kids know what to do, is distract their minds. And we've always done this, yes, we've done it for a long time now, but it's just like when you see depression going through the roof, suicide going through the roof, you can't have a conversation with somebody in broad daylight without them talking about mental health. And the hospitals are heaving with people like with diabetes and heart problems, which is a direct link to mental health problems. Don't forget, this isn't just they've had bad genetic, passed on sort of body material. This is because they've had a lot of shit and they haven't exercised. It's simple. It's really simple. The genetic modification problems in physical health go down to 1% in scientific studies. Only 1%. The rest is your diet, your sleep, basically your education, your intelligence of how fit do you want to feel. And you can say that you're addicted to your negative stuff because of your bad habits, and your bad habits are there because of your poor mental health, and you're stuck in this loop. But how much do you really want to snap out of it? I don't think the modern day I don't want to use this word, it's but I'm just going to say anybody who's living in this time, the modern day sort of narrative is, I've got all these problems, and then they stop right there. They have no clue, even though they have Googled everything bar all the list of the problems that they have. They have Googled everything. They have Googled what's the best YouTube video to watch, what's the best program on Netflix, what's trending, what's any cool names that I need to have, what's the designer goods do I need to buy, what's the latest fashion, what's the best car coming up, should I get a Ford, should I get a Volkswagen. But they haven't Googled all those problems of where they're going in life, how they're going to move out of mum and dad's one day, how they're going to choose to live a life that's comfortable and financially viable without mummy and daddy, with a career that they like. And all these problems just will emerge at the age of 25, possibly 30, when you're in the wrong relationship, you have children with the wrong people, you're absolutely depressed, and you'll just turn to alcohol and drugs and whatever's available, and your life will be over, just like your nans, your dads, your uncles, that person that you know, just over and over again. And then you will say, well, guess what, I fit the category that I'm the 1% genetic passover, when really you see that it's in everybody's genes to be a lazy prat that doesn't want to do anything with their life. That's in everybody's genes. But you can make the difference. You can change the alternative reality yourself. You can go out there, grab this world that you want to live in, and hope that that's enough of a distraction to make you avoid mental health, avoid drugs, and get away from the addiction of social media.